What's up, guys? It's Duke here from SportsGamers.com, and in this Madden 20 tip, I want to show you guys one of the most dominant and frustrating coverage defenses to go against in Madden 20. This defense is lockdown versus the run and the pass. It gets great pass rush with great coverage, and it's very easy to use. I'm going to be looking at the big nickel over G cover 4 palms. I really believe cover 4 palms is the best and most completely dominant, just complete overall match defenses in Madden 20. It's just a lot of people don't really know how to use it right. They don't really understand its principles matching wise. In this video, we're going to go over all that, how to maximize it. It's a great defense to run, guys. I've had great success with it. If you're not trying to blitz every play and want to kind of learn a different style, this is something great you can run that has extreme effectiveness at the same time. So in this video, guys, I'm going to show you guys how you can use it to lock down gun bunch, one of the most effective offenses in the game out of West Coast Playbook. And I'll make other videos showing you guys adjustments you can use to lock down other popular offenses as well from this defense. So out of palms, guys, you definitely do need speed at corner and safety because this is almost like a cover 2 match type deal. It almost plays like a cover 2, and we'll show you why. So you do need fast corners and safeties. You don't need anything crazy. I mean, as you can see, I'm on regs with the Rams. Good secondary overall, but they definitely have plenty of players that aren't that fast. Now, I like using out the big nickel over G, but, I mean, you could really use it primarily or really against in any defensive formation that has it. It's just I think big nickel over G gets the best pass rush in general. So just a few things on this defense. I always use it a 3-rec linebacker. And you can definitely spy the D end, or D tackle. Like if you want to spy Brockers here, we could do that to get a spy on the mobile quarterback. The thing you want to really focus on in this video is all the different DB matching principles and what everyone does and who everyone looks to guard. So we're always going to be on the 3-rec. Now, a few things here. We'll start on the bunch side. The bunch side, there's certain assignments or principles that we need to go over. So first of all, the quarter flat on the bunch side, it's pretty much going to look to guard the flat. Like if it sees the tight end out on the flat, it's going to go look to check that. Or just any player out on the flat, he's going to go look to guard that. Now even on, this could be confusing because on gun bunch verticals, this guy will actually initially match the vertical's wheel route. Okay, so that can be something to notice. We'll show that in the video. Now the safety, he's going to look to guard and he like streaks down the seam, like any deep verticals. He can match sometimes on like deep crossers and posts, like on receiver post from the other side of the field. Sometimes he'll look to guard him depending upon the route concept. Again, it kind of just depends, but generally speaking, he'll look to guard the vertical route down the middle of the field. Whereas this guy will look to the outside corner, look to kind of like match a corner route like on the sideline. Now, on the other side of the field, this quarter flat is actually pretty important because if the running back goes out on the table route or wheel route or anything like that, he'll look to guard him. But if he does not go out and there's just a setup where there's like a drag coming across the middle of the field from the right side to the left, he'll do his best to guard him, although sometimes he doesn't do the best, but he'll try. This safety right here, he'll often match crossers and posts coming from the bunch side to the lone receiver side. So like for instance, mesh post, he would help match the post route. Verticals, he'd match the slot receiver on the deep cross. This corner pretty much always matches the lone receiver in bunch. This is actually really important, and we'll kind of go over this in the video, but that's basically the principles that are the basics. Like I said, there are certain things you'll see here that you'll see that this almost plays more like a cover 2. There's ways to take advantage of it, and we'll go over how to counter those and just all the little adjustments I like to do to make this better. But first, I just want to show what this defense does great by default, which is guard corner routes, like corner flat streaks. Whether it's stick, corner strike, it doesn't really matter, guys. You'll see that this is something you just simply cannot throw. That's a terrible read. That's probably going to get picked off every single time, or at least broken up. That's not something you can rely on. And this just does such a good job. He's in bunch. This is something people love to do, whether it's a rollout corner from corner strike, stick, a motion corner from stick, the rollout corner from deep corner. I mean, corner routes are just abundant in this formation, and this formation boxes corners up so good. Just like that. Now, even if they motion the corner out from stick, it's not going to matter. We're going to be able to play it very well, as you guys can see. If you try to throw it on the break, that guy's still there. That's a very bad read. That's not something you want to live off of. Corner strike is going to be the same thing. It doesn't really matter who's running the flat, who's running the streak. They match it really good. Now, I do want you guys to notice something, though. If I run corner strike, just watch what I'm about to do. So I'm about to just put this receiver on an in route, the lone receiver, run corner strike the same way. So what I want you guys to notice is that even though that corner matches up against that receiver, he just doesn't do the best job. So that's one weakness, right off the bat, is that corner, the lone receiver that matches, he just gets beat on like almost every route. Even though that wasn't beat too bad, that's still beat. We don't like that. So we're going to do something about that in a minute here. But first, I want to show you guys one of the easiest ways to beat this defense and what to do to stop the offense from doing that. So as you guys can see, it does a great job by default matching just corner, those types of concepts. The only problem, guys, is what I'm about to show you here, is if they use motion. Motion will change everything. So here's, again, this palms by default. We see we're in deep corner. We're going to go ahead and just do the regular rollout corner with the slot receiver. And you guys can see, this gets played good. Like, we can't throw this. It's going to lock up the rollout corner with no motion. However, guys, you're going to notice I'll do the exact same defense, just so you can see. The exact same offense, again, just so you can see. I'm going to do a streak. And the thing you have to pay attention to here is that they do motion, guys. This is probably the most effective way to beat this defense, in my opinion, is if you have the slot on a corner route. Now, again, you could do this from any play if you have slot apprentice or hot route master. But even if you don't, you can just use deep corner because we already have a corner route. Now, what happens is when you motion this receiver on the streak, motion snap him, you're going to see that the safety in the corner actually get confused and switch. And then that's just a free one-play touchdown on the bomb. So we definitely don't want to give that up. That's a really easy way that they can confuse our coverage from this defense, is basically just do motion streak with the corner in the slot. You'll see that the corner guards him at first, but once he sees that player's on a streak, he leaves for the streak. The safety tries to switch, and it's just no way he can recover in time. Conversely, you can almost do the same thing on the other side of the field. If we go ahead, we can do like a streak to the receiver on the outside and motion over this player on an out route. And you guys are going to notice basically the same thing happens. As you guys can see here, another basically free touchdown off a bomb because the safety in the corner switched. That's why I said it almost plays like a cover 2 at times. So I'm going to show you guys how you can get rid of both of those things from happening and just make sure that never happens. So first things first is I like to always, one of my adjustments, man up that lone receiver out of the bunch with this outside corner because he always matches them anyways. So why not just man him up because he's going to play him better. And then also if they do the motion out route, now that motion out route is no longer going to cause a switch because this guy's manned up on him. So we no longer have to worry about that. Now if you have a good press corner, I also like to individually press him by just doing the coverage audible, which is Y or triangle, and the visual coverage adjustment, which is A or X, A for Xbox, and then down on the right analog stick to press him. After I press the receiver's icon, which in this case, Sammy Watkins. Alright, so that's going to take away that bomb, and that will also just play the routes over the middle of the field that much better. And again, that guy literally matches pretty much every time unless they switch off assignments and for a glitch anyway, so obviously this is way better for us. The second thing we can do is man ourselves up on the slot receiver. Because now if we man ourselves up in the slot receiver with our user, again, this is our user, so we're not actually going to guard him, but just by manning him up with our user, it kind of tells the defense, hey, like, that guy's manned up, so like it basically stops that bomb happening on the motion. So here we're going to do the same exact setup. I'm not even going to guard him with my user. I'm just going to put my user manned up on him. You'll see that they no longer switch assignments and the bomb is no longer there. Look, the bomb no longer happens. That guy's double teamed. But because he's getting double teamed off that, if they do this setup, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go guard the corner out yourself. So again, you can see like the same thing. Like we're going to do the same exact adjustments. Again, you don't have to press that receiver over there, but at least man him up. And you guys are going to notice I'm going to do the same exact thing on offense. I'm just going to go mainly guard the corner out myself. You guys can see that's covered perfectly. No worries. No worries at all. And, I don't know. Let's see again here one more time if you guys could get a better look at it. All right. Make sure we get that other lone receiver manned up. Looks good, looks good. So we're going to do our little motion. As you can see, I'm going to go guard the corner myself. That guy's getting doubled. And yeah, that's never going to be something you can do anymore. Now, same thing. If you try to motion over the out route with the streak, and I do those same exact adjustments, and I did not mean to do that, guys, so let's just, go ahead and move on to the next play. But if we do the same exact defensive adjustments, man myself up on the slot, man this guy up right here, and again, you can individually press, but you don't have to. Do those same exact adjustments, guys. You guys can see they're no longer going to be able to hit the bomb. Just like that, you guys can see that the manned up guy is going to stay manned up. Now, the only thing is the quarter flat just doesn't do that good of a job guarding the flat. So you may want to guard the flat yourself in this instance. Like, if I was playing in a game right here, my responsibility as a user would be to take away that out route. But you guys can see that streak is no longer open. It's basically double teamed. You guys can see again the deep post is covered. So you can see that's an easy way to take away basically the little mismatches they'll try to do with the motion to get wide open guys manned up on this, switched off on the safeties, which is just a mismatch because the safeties can't recover in time. So I want to show you how that exact same setup I just showed you will work against all the other common plays people run out of this formation. Let's start with verticals. I did mention that earlier. So again, we're just going to man this guy up individually, then man our user up on the slot. That's all we have to do. We can throw in a spy. We can individually press that outside corner. That's the lone receiver. It doesn't really matter, but we'll do it here. But here's the setup on offense. So offensively, this is something like this, very common, and we're going to do the motion. Now again, guys, you can see what I'm talking about with this motion, that he actually does act like he's going to go guard the guy in the middle of the field, but then he comes back over late to the sideline to pick that off. And what I mean by is the corner on the right. So let's take a look at this replay so you can see what I mean. When you do this motion, guys, he acts like he's going to go in the middle of the field, which is confusing because this quarter flat guards him right off the rip. But the thing is, he eventually goes back over there. So you see this, you're like, oh, let's just wait a second and bomb it. So now I'm about to bomb it, right? But the thing is, right when I tend to get ready to bomb it, as I am here, he goes back to the sideline and he almost baits him into throwing a pick. Now, guys, you might say, well, what if I was just to hike and snap throw it like right here when the guy's like open? The thing is, you cannot hike, snap this, or throw this 9 times out of 10. Unless you're in the red zone, you'll get a pressure inaccurate throw anyways. Or not a pressure inaccurate throw, but an inaccurate quick pass, excuse me. Now, they could throw this in the red zone because in the red zone, this won't be a pressure inaccurate, or excuse me, I keep saying pressure inaccurate. But I mean, it won't be an inaccurate quick pass throw. So if they're in the red zone, watch out for this. But other than that, you guys can see the drag is manned up, easily covered. Streak is matched, easily covered. And again, this guy, the opposite safety, matches the crosser. So again, individually covered very well. This is why you see you're going to need fast players, especially at safety and corner, because there's a lot of matching going on. So as long as you have fast players, they're not going to get open. Obviously, if you had 99 speed Tyreek Hill going up against an 84 or 85 speed guy, maybe he might get open. But I mean, I all know at this time of the game and MUT and franchise, everyone has juiced up defensive players, so everyone's got speed everywhere. So it's going to be a dominant defense. And even in regs, as you guys can see here, first off, not too many teams other than Chiefs, really just the Chiefs, have so many fast receivers. But you guys can see I'm using the Rams against the Chiefs, and they're covering them fine. And the Rams don't even have that crazy of a secondary, speed-wise. They got one really good player in Ramsey. Other than that, no one too great. So, I mean, even most regs teams will do good in this, honestly, just because, obviously, offensively, you don't have that type of speed either in regs, so it's just more of an even matchup. So that's verticals. We already showed off the corner routes. So let's look at mesh post. So there's a few different things people will do out of mesh post. So I'm going to show you guys all that and how this defense will work against it. So mesh post, there's a few different things people will do. First thing they'll do is just an out to their lone receiver, and that'll be really it. So let's take a look at how that works. As you can see, there's literally nothing open at all. They just had to sit in the pocket and get sacked. Like I said, very much lockdown. Only thing we could have done here is spy the weak DT to stop the rollout. But basically, guys, the out routes manned up. Don't have to worry about that. Again, remember, I said that the quarter flat linebacker on the side of the running back will match him if he goes out on a wheel route or a table route or something, which he did here. Remember, guys, I said that this quarter flat will match a flat to this side like a tight end. He did here. Remember, guys, I said that the safeties would match up the posts. Again, they both did here. So all I had to do was basically bait between this drag and then the post on the break. Because even though these guys are manned up on the post, or they'll match him, they could throw it on the break if I don't like kind of just stand there and act like I might pick it off. However, they can't throw it late at this point because now it's matched up. So basically just watch them throwing the post off the break and then also kind of watch the drag here too. That's why I kind of like the spy, because that's going to take away the drag over the short middle to where they can no longer throw that. And that's going to allow me to sit back on the post a little bit better, because they can't just throw the drag over the short middle with the spy there. So you guys can see just like that. All right, covered up really good. All right. So that's really nice. Now, if guys don't have fast linebackers, that could be a mismatch on the running back, but obviously this is a formation where, and a lot of the formations you can run this, but not all. Well, most of them, I should say. Actually, a good bit of them. You guys can see you can put safeties in as the linebackers if you don't have fast linebackers. So that's the first way people like to run it. And the next way people like to run mesh post is with just a basic max protect, right? So a max protect with 2 drags is a common thing you'll see. Sometimes motion, sometimes not. So again, we're going to do everything the same on defense. Here's our setup again. We can individually press that lone receiver. But again, make sure if you're going to do this, generally speaking, I will tell you guys that lone receiver and bunch doesn't get good releases that often. But still, you do want a fast corner. Someone that's at least about even with the speed of the receiver. Maybe a speed or 2 lower is okay, but not like 5 speed points lower. And ideally 90 plus press to get the good press animations consistently. So let's take a look at this. Again, if they use motion or not, it doesn't really matter from this play. It really doesn't. As you can see here, I'm just going to cover that drag, and I know everything else is covered up really well. It's a sack. I mean, this is a complete box against bunch. Once you know what routes to look to user and how to take away those little glitchy bombs where they switch assignments of the DB with the safety, this is a box. I'm telling you guys. Let's look at deep corner with that post route. I've already kind of shown just deep corner with the corner route, but I want to look at it with if they're trying to bomb you, the common set of people that will try to bomb with the corner, right? I'm sorry, not the corner, but the post. So generally speaking, they'll max protect, do a comeback, a little in the slot. They might have a hitch or just something like that, maybe even the corner route, and then they'll just have the deep post, because the deep post that's a cover 3 bomb. See what happens if they try to bomb cover 4. Palms. As you guys can see, those 2 safeties match it up. I mean, that should be an easy pick. It's broken up. Again, if you had a really slow safety and they had a really fast receiver, maybe he might get open. But again, there's 2 guys essentially watching him. If they have any speed at all, there's no chance that's getting open. At all. So that's there. Another thing I want to note, guys, is that I understand that these zones by the quarter flats don't always play the best in the flats, like guarding drags and whatnot. So you do have the option, if you want, to shade down to get hard flats or shade back up to get clouds. I'll actually show you that here. The only problem with that and why I don't do it too much is when you take away those quarter flats, especially the quarter flat that's on the running back side, that is a very important zone, because that zone will guard the running back out of the backfield on a wheel route. However, I do understand that those zones otherwise don't do that good sometimes. So if you do want to go ahead and put them on clouds or hard flats so they do a bit better, I completely understand why you'd want to do that. The only thing is, if you do that, please, guys, you're going to have to really pay attention to the running back side of the formation, because if the running back does go out on a route, like a wheel route, and you do that, you're going to possibly give up. You're going to have to watch them, because you could possibly give up a 1-play touchdown depending upon what routes they had. If they had, here the post routes might get in the way, but if they had something like this, it's a possibility that you might give up a 1-play score, because as you guys can see here, eventually the cloud will just stop covering a wheel route, and that safety is not going to be smart enough to pick him up. So that's why I say that, I understand those quarter flats sometimes don't do the best unless there's just a simple flat route on each side. Like if there's drags and other things, they don't do the best. So you might want to put them in hard flats, or you might even want to put them in clouds and keep the matching on the outside. The only problem with that is, you'll still get the matching on the outside and by the safeties, as you guys can see here. But like I said, you won't get any matching on the running back wheel route. So the running back goes out the backfield. That's a touchdown right there. So be careful about that. If you're gonna do that, be aware that you'll need to watch that running back. Obviously, if you get good pressure by your front four, they won't have that much time. But if you don't get pressure, that could be obviously a big issue. So that's deep corner. The other play people will do a decent amount is the receiver post play. So let's look at that. This could be a one-play touchdown for your deep post route. And let's just put this ball in the middle of the field. Let's get it in the middle. We're not even going to be on a hash here. So we're going to go ahead and look at this. So again, same adjustments I've been doing. So this is a setup people will do a lot. They'll just snap it, and they'll oftentimes try to roll out, maybe throw the post, maybe throw the drag or the crosser. I want to show you guys how this default defends this. So you guys can see, by default, this is defended really good. You just need to basically take away the underneath read. And you guys are gonna see, obviously we manned up that post route, so we don't really need to worry about that. Now here's the thing though, guys, because on this setup, you guys can see against Palms, the safeties kind of like, they don't drop deep, obviously neither does that outside corner. If this guy is not fast, they could obviously bomb you over the top for a one-play touchdown if he can just beat his man. But again, if you have a fast corner here that you don't need to worry about this, then again, this is fine. Like, this is not a problem. And again, it really all depends upon your personnel. Obviously, if you back up, that's, he's running right with him stride for stride. That's easy. Now, this is the thing. If you don't have those fast corners, you can take it away, another way, which would be, because it almost plays like a cover two, just put both of the safeties in outside deep halves, right? Now, to me, this is not ideal because now, like, the middle is booty naked. Like, if there's a streak down the middle, I would have to user that, and I don't really like that. But obviously, you can see here as far as like deep posts and stuff like that, that will take away that, and that will also take away obviously the switches between the corners and the streak routes or the outs and the street routes. But I don't like this method as much because now, like, the middle of the field is just way too open for like a seam streak or like, a shorter post. Like, obviously the deep post, it's pretty much locked, but like a shorter post or like a seam streak, like, we just have to cover that ourselves, and that's why I don't like doing this adjustment. But this is definitely an adjustment you can do, and you guys can see here, because I put the corners or both safeties in deep halves, I just went ahead and pressed my whole defense because I wasn't worried about anything anymore because I had those two safeties over the top. So that's another option you guys can do. I just don't personally prefer that option, but it is something that you can do if you want to take away the same stuff a little bit differently. That's something you can do. Now, another thing people will do is if they think it's cover three, they'll like put this receiver right here in the slot on a corner route. They have slot apprentice. If they don't, they could still put them on an out route, and still it's kind of a smart right out route, kind of going to do the same thing. So if we do the same kind of adjustment, you'll see. All right, so you guys can see. Again, the same thing's going on here. If they try to bomb this because our corner's like fast enough, like, that's a no-go. But again, if your corner's not fast enough to keep up with their receiver, you're going to need to either A, manually play that yourself, or B, have the safeties over the top and deep halves. It really just depends. You'll see here that what we would have needed to cover on this setup, because our guy's fast enough so we don't even have to worry about that, is we would just need to take away this out route. You guys can see here that the corners will take away the crosser initially, and then the safety will eventually just take him himself, so we're not worried about that. We just have to either guard the out or the corner on this setup right here. Now, the last thing people will do out of this play is do a little bit of a motion slant to Tyreek Hill, the slot receiver, which, again, that's going to be pretty much what we would look to user. Again, we're kind of just sitting over the middle of the field on this setup, taking away routes over the middle. That's really our primary concern. Like here, we can take that initially and then go back with that one, so that's not open. And you guys can see, again, it's just a complete box. We're mainly worried about the middle, crossers, posts, little shallow drags. That's what we're worried about with our user here. I can see that this guy, I just need to guard him for basically the slant, get underneath him, because I can see that the safety is matching. And again, guys, look, the corner actually matches initially before he passes him off to the safety, and that's why I have to guard this guy because this corner passed him off. He was too far in the middle of the field to recover to guard this guy. Again, off this setup, they actually kind of initially double teamed him, and then Ramsey discarded him the whole way. So again, if your corner is fast enough to keep up with the deep post, you don't even have to worry about that. But again, if he's not, you're definitely gonna have to watch that. So kind of just play it by your personnel. If you know you have a fast enough corner, don't worry about it. But if he's not fast enough, that is definitely something you have to watch. And again, definitely pay attention to your press rating, because if you don't have a corner that can press, and maybe even he's a little slow, you'll have a lot more success just manning him up but not pressing. But if you have like the super fast corner that has the equal or greater to speed than the receiver, and then over a 90 press, oftentimes he's just gonna press the absolute daylights out of that lone receiver and bunch, so he can't even really release. And by the time he's downfield, he's gonna be sacked. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will be back with some more great Madden 20 tips.